Hi, it's Jean, and today is day 10 of my fast. So I started out the night of the 25th of, no, that's not, yes, the night of the 25th of September, and today is the 5th of October. So how's it been going? Up and down, up and down. It is good. I mean, I didn't expect it to be easy, but I did commit to doing it for various reasons. I've got a couple videos up about the first few days, and then got busy, but fasting is one of those things, if you've never done it, it's kind of like some days, like today, I'm feeling, okay, let me get on and video. But as you can see, it's kind of like going through the motions of life without a lot of extra enthusiasm. And, you know, talking yourself into doing a video when there's not a lot of extra enthusiasm can be a little bit of a challenge. But let me recap what's been going on for the past 4 days, because I think the last video I did was day 5, so we're now on day 10. I guess I don't know, 5 days then it makes it, right? I did 5 and 6, so it's 4 days. Anyway, let's not get bogged down in the details. So I'm looking at a calendar now to get my days right. On Friday, the 3rd, I had to tend to my bees. So I have 11 hives, and they live 3 hours away from me. So it's been a good month since I've seen them, and it's October, so it's time to take a look and see what needs to be done for winter. And I went down prepared because that's physical labor. It is taxing sometimes, and I knew that it might be necessary for me to eat something. So what I did was I brought down some pine nuts and some keto snack mix, and I did have to eat, I probably ate about a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more, of the pine nuts, and I ate 4 walnut halves. That sustained me, plus a lot of water. That sustained me through the beekeeping. And actually, I just remembered that I did have a little bit of broth. So what I've been doing is I've got about a regular mug. I put water in it, and then I'll spoon in about 4 tablespoons, not measuring spoons, but just regular tablespoons. I'll spoon in some broth with some salt, stir that up, and drink that. So I did have some of that. The beginning part of my fast, I wanted it to be very strict water fast, so I could take advantage of the benefits of the cell cleansing and renewal, so the autophagy process. But as time has gone on, I want to make sure my body's getting some nutrients. I have been using tea. It's water, herbal tea, no calories, no starches, no nothing, and that's been really, really helpful. So getting up in the morning and having a cup of tea, and then some at noon and some at night, very helpful in terms of having something to do and putting in some nutrients into my body, because the water is extracting some minerals and things from the herbs, which is good. So Friday was bee day. So I did a 3-hour drive down, took care of bees for about 4 or 5 hours, and then did a 3-hour drive back, and it was good. I was good. I did a little more bone broth when I got home to kind of replenish some things that were lost during the work I was doing. And then the weekend's been pretty easy, to be honest with you. It's just, again, it's kind of like walking slowly. I'm doing things, I'm getting stuff done. Mornings are harder for me, when it takes a little bit for my body to kind of get going and reacclimated to keeping me going. And which brings me to thinking about mornings, brings me to, I've been taking glucose and ketone tests in the morning, blood tests. I haven't done it twice a day yet. I don't know. I could, but don't know that I see the value in that. So right now, it's good to see the value in that if I were to be eating and seeing what my body does after I eat, but I'm not really eating. I'm taking in a little bit of nutrients, very low calories, salt for sure. That helps me out a lot by taking in some salt. So an hour after I wake up in the morning, I do a prick on my finger and I take my glucose test and my ketone test. And the day after I ate some of the pine nuts and walnuts, like I said, my glucose had gone back up into the 80s. So it's been down in the 60s, even 50s sometimes. And my ketones have been as high as 7.3, I think, millimoles, which is really, really high. But not high in the sense that I'm suffering from like ketoacidosis or something like that. That's not that, but it's so there's a lot of ketones in my system, and that makes my brain feel really sharp. I see a lot of clarity in things, but without any food, it's kind of like a little bit more, I'm a little bit more forgetful. I don't think that's going to persist when I get to the breaking the fast part. And if you haven't been following, I am trying to go a 30-day. I have modified things a little bit. So I was going to try to do a full tea water fast. I think it's better for my system, my body, to take in some broths on a daily basis. It's homemade bone broth with some vegetables and things like that. It's actually really, really good. And with the salt, and then I added in, last night was the first night I added in a little bit of actual electrolytes. So there's this bottle of electrolytes you can get, trace minerals. I don't know if that's the name of it, but that's what's on the bottle that I can recall right now. And I'll dump in just a little tiny bit. I have had a fast in the past where I unbalanced my electrolytes, and that was really bad for my system, and I had to start eating. So far I haven't suffered from anything that's led me to get to the point where, aside from the little bit of nuts I had when I was doing the bees, I haven't felt in a way that's made me think I need to really refeed right now. And that's good. 10 days is the longest I've gone. So I'm at day 10 now. I'm planning to go for at least another 14 days before I might add in a little bit more nutrients, but keep it at a fasted level and that the calorie intake is below 200. So again, not the strict sort of water fast that I imagined in the beginning, but still fasting. And I do think that fasting has a lot of benefits, and I don't think that we necessarily need to confine ourselves to this box of, well, if you're going to do this extended fast, that it has to automatically be just a water fast or herbal tea water fast, but that we want to make sure that we're not putting our bodies in danger. And I don't want to put my body in danger. I want to benefit myself. And one of the reasons I did it was because I wanted fast results, and because it's a lot easier for me to not eat than to try to eat, the right measurement of this and the right measurement of that and the right, just measuring everything and weighing everything and analyzing everything. Let's just get to a point where just use the not eating part and get to that point where I want to be, and then introduce the right foods and the right balances. And it's a lot easier to maintain something than it is to lose something. And it's really easy to gain, but losing is the hardest part, and then maintaining can be really easy when we put in the processes. So that's one of the steps I'll be taking after this 30 days is the plan for how to just eat healthy and then exercise. So I'm going to have a lot of need to get my body stronger again and build more muscle, and I want to continue. So I'll have lost a certain amount of weight by the end, but it won't be ultimately what I want to get to. So I'll have to do a little bit of assessing to see what I can, what I'm going to do the rest of the weight loss that I want to do. Which reminds me, you don't know how much weight I lost. Well, I've lost 7 days, I lost 10 pounds, nearly 10 pounds, 0.4 pounds off of 10 pounds. So, and then it plateaus a little bit more, and I'll lose again, but it won't be quite as much because I've lost water weight and things like that. So I'll keep going to see how much I can drop this way. And then, and inches, I forgot to mention inches. I forgot to mention that. So then, as I get to the end, knowing where I end up will help me decide where I'm going to go as far as, am I going to do any intermittent fasting, which, yes, I'll probably end up doing intermittent fasting. And then I'm going to stick to a keto diet, because that's just going to keep this process going along a little bit faster. And no, I have not gotten my blood work done as far as what counts are and things like that, but I'll make a plan to get that done so we can get a read on whether or not I've done anything that's not good for me, and I'll report back on that, because I don't know if it's not terribly harmful. It's not easy. It's a simple thing to do, but it's really hard. It's hard to look at food, see my family eating, and go, oh, well, I guess I'll have my tea right now or my broth. But I put my mind to it, so it's a mindset thing, and I'm going to continue. It's been doable for sure, and I have a goal, and I want to reach that goal. I'm not getting any younger. I've had, since I'm a certain age now, years past, there's always tomorrow, right? You think, oh, there's tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow. Well, my tomorrows are getting a lot smaller, and I don't want to be in this place for any longer. So I've made that decision in my mind of what I'm going to do as long as I maintain health. I mean, I've got 2 kids and a husband and a family. I don't want to do anything that's going to harm myself, especially if it's going to affect them, and it would. So that's important to me that they have me healthy. I'm trying to think how I feel. I noticed that my hip is feeling better. So, dropping weight really does, and taking away inflammation. My fingers are feeling pretty good. That one just cracked. Pretty good. And, I'm expecting more of the good feelings to come, especially when I start refeeding again. I don't think I'm going to feel on top of the world until I start refeeding. But I feel, for the most part, good. And I'm glad that I've got the ketones going, because there is a lot more focus, but it doesn't help necessarily with the remembering part. And sometimes I think that it might be because when I'm doing something, I'm in the moment. I'm just doing that thing. And so the other things go away. I don't know if you do this, but when I have things going on, I think, oh, I've got to do that. Oh, I've got to do this. So I've got to do that. But I haven't had that going on so much. So that might be part of it. Anyway, I wanted to check in today at day 10 because it has been a few days, but also let you know that I'm still going, and I'm going to keep going. And I'll tell you, if I stop, I'll say, oh, well, I didn't quite make it, but here's what we're going to do next, because I'm not giving up on the whole thing. I want, I'm going to make this progress. Like I said, I'm going to make this transition and come out where I want to end up. So that's all I have for today. If you want to know anything about what I'm trying to do to kind of help me get through this, like gum chewing, that helps a lot, or the teas, or what's in my broth and stuff, just drop me a comment and subscribe. I don't know if I'm going to get these videos out that I said I was going to do that are about the fasting process. I might just have to wait until the end of this and then put them together then, when I've got a lot more energy and brain power. So it is a real process. This is not sugar-coated in any way. It's just what it is. So maybe I'll see you tomorrow, but I'll definitely see you soon. And thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.